There's a special kind of pain that comes when the person hurting you is someone you love. But there's an even colder kind of pain when you finally leave that person, and your own family asks you to go back. In today's story, I'm going to tell you how I escaped an abusive relationship, how my family chose my ex over me, called me dramatic, disloyal, and ungrateful, and how in the end I cut all of them off and watched from a distance as he slowly did to them what he once did to me. If you like long emotional revenge stories about toxic relationships, betrayal, and karma moving in circles, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with me until the very end, because the way this story closes is not loud, but it is deeply, deeply fair. My name is Julia, and I wasn't born strong. I didn't grow up knowing all the red flags of abuse, with a perfect sense of self-worth and boundaries. I grew up in a conservative, tight, small-town family where the message was simple. Family first. Keep the relationship. Don't air your dirty laundry. Better a bad man than being alone. My father worked long hours as a driver. My mother stayed home and ran the house like a military base. I had an older brother and a younger sister. From the outside, we looked like a normal, united family. On the inside, no one really knew how to talk about feelings. Everything was either fine or shameful. Crying was weakness, therapy was for crazy people, and divorce was practically a sin. I met Lucas when I was 22. He was charming in that confident, slightly cocky way that makes you feel chosen. He worked in sales, knew how to talk, how to listen, how to mirror whatever you said so you felt instantly understood. He told me I was different from other girls, that I was real, that he finally felt he could be himself. I fell for it. At first, he was sweet. Too sweet, maybe. He texted good morning and good night, wanted to know where I was, if I'd eaten, if I'd gotten home safe. I thought it was care. I didn't see yet that it was control wearing a nice mask. Abusive relationships don't usually start with shouting and bruises. They start with lines that sound like love. Text me when you get there so I know you're safe. Do you really trust those friends? I just don't want them to hurt you. I miss you when you go out without me. Can't we just stay in together? Little by little, his concern became criticism. Why do you dress like that when you're not with me? Your friends are a bad influence. They encourage you to be selfish. Your family doesn't appreciate me. They look at me like I'm not good enough. Are you talking about me behind my back? Whenever I pushed back, he flipped it. I'm just trying to protect us. You're too sensitive. You always twist my words. He would raise his voice, then apologize with flowers and tearful speeches. I had a hard childhood, he'd say. I don't know how to love without hurting sometimes, but I'm trying. Don't leave me. You're the only one who really knows me. I stayed, not because I was stupid, because I believed him, because no one had ever taught me the difference between love and possession. You might think my family would have warned me, right? They saw some of it. Not all. Abusers are very good with masks. When they saw his jealousy, they said, "It's because he really likes you." Men are like that. When he made decisions for me, they said, "It's good to have a man who takes charge. You're too soft." When I tried to open up once and said, "Sometimes I feel like I can't breathe in this relationship," my mother replied, "All men are difficult. If you leave every time it's hard, you'll be alone forever. Fix it. Pray. Be patient." So I stopped telling them. I learned to split my life in two. The version I showed to my family, with a strong boyfriend, a serious relationship, future husband material, and the version I lived at home, where I cried in the bathroom so he wouldn't see, where I carefully chose words to avoid his explosions, where I apologized for things that weren't my fault just to keep the peace. He started controlling my money, saying, "Why are you paying for this? I'm better with finances. I'll manage it for us." He criticized my body, my hair, my friends, my hobbies. "You'd be perfect if you just fixed these few things," he'd say. Perfect. As if I was a project. The night everything changed wasn't the worst thing he had ever done. It was just the first time I truly saw it. We were at his apartment. I had been promoted at work, and my coworkers wanted to celebrate. He didn't like that. "We said we would have dinner together," he snapped. "Why do you have to go out with them? You're becoming arrogant." "I already told them I'd go," I said gently. "It's just dinner. You can come too if you want. He refused. When I came back later around 10 p.m., he was furious. Did you enjoy being the center of attention? He yelled. Did you flirt with your boss? Is that how you got the promotion? I tried to stay calm. You know that's not true, I said. I work hard. That's why I got it. This is important to me. He stepped closer. You're nothing without me, he hissed. You think your family will support you if I leave? They love me more than they love you. You're lucky I'm still here. And then he shoved me. Not hard enough to throw me across the room. Hard enough to make me hit my hip on the edge of the table and lose my balance. I looked at him, at his still raised hand, at his eyes. Something in me broke. Not my body. My denial. I grabbed my bag, my phone, my keys. Where are you going? He demanded. Home, I said, my voice shaking but steady. And I'm not coming back. Ever. He laughed. You always say that, he scoffed. You'll be back tomorrow. You need me. This time, I didn't answer, and I didn't go back. I went to my parents' house that night. My mother took one look at my face and said, What happened? I told them. Not everything, but enough. The jealousy, the control, the shove. I left, I said. I can't do this anymore. I don't feel safe with him. I expected something different. Support. Anger on my behalf. A hug. My father frowned. Are you sure you're not overreacting? He asked slowly. Men lose their temper sometimes. I've yelled too. Your mom and I had our share of fights. My mother nodded. A shove isn't a beating, she said. If he apologizes, if he's willing to get help, you could at least try. You've been together for years. You don't just throw that away. My brother shook his head. I like Lucas, he said. He's always been respectful to us. He helps around. He's funny. This doesn't sound like him. My sister stayed quiet, her eyes wide, clearly uncomfortable. I'm not going back, I repeated. I don't care if he cries, if he begs, if he sends gifts. I'm done. My mother sighed. I think you should at least talk to him, she insisted. Hear his side. Don't make us the bad guys who broke you up. Us. In that moment, I realized they were more worried about being seen as bad by him than about me being safe. Of course, he didn't disappear. Abusers rarely do when you cut off their supply. He started texting me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I was stressed. I'll go to therapy. I'll change. Please don't throw us away. You're my whole life. Without you, I have nothing. I didn't answer. Then he started texting my family. My mother showed me a message once, as if it proved something. Look how broken he is, she said. He said he can't sleep. He can't eat. He asked us what he did wrong. He sounds devastated. I could almost hear his rehearsed voice. Then he started visiting them. He went to my parents' house to talk. He confessed that he had lost his temper, but framed it as a one-time mistake. He told them, I know I'm not perfect. I grew up seeing bad examples. But I love Julia. I want to marry her. I want to build a family. I'm begging you, help me fix this. My parents ate it up. My brother invited him for a beer to cheer him up. My sister followed my parents' lead and started sending him supportive messages. One afternoon, my mother sat me down. You're being cruel, she said. You won't even sit down and talk to him. He's human. He made a mistake. You're not a saint either. He shoved me, I said quietly. He has been controlling and insulting me for years. This wasn't one mistake. Why are we only hearing about this now? My father demanded. If it was so bad, why didn't you say something earlier? Because every time I tried, you told me to be patient. Because I was ashamed. Because I didn't want to hear told you so. Because I thought you'd blame me. I thought you would believe me, I answered instead. The worst moment came a few weeks later. My father called me and told me to come over for a serious family talk. I arrived and found Lucas sitting on the couch with them. My chest tightened. What is he doing here? I asked. We invited him, my mother said. We can't resolve anything if you two don't talk like adults. I didn't agree to this, I replied, my voice shaking. I told you I'm not ready to see him. I told you I'm done. My father raised his voice. And we are telling you that sometimes you don't know what's best for you, he said. Lucas came here humbly, admitted he was wrong, and asked for a chance. That's more maturity than you're showing. I looked at Lucas. He had red eyes, hands clasped. The perfect image of a suffering man. Julia, he said softly, I hurt you. I know that. I'm so sorry. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you. Please don't let anger break our family. Our family. He was talking about my parents. My mother put her hand on his shoulder. We see how much he loves you, she said to me. We won't support you throwing this away over pride. If you walk away from this relationship, know that you're also walking away from our blessing. My heart stopped. You're choosing him over me, I whispered. We're choosing what's right, my father replied, and what we think is right is forgiveness and keeping the family together. In that moment, something inside me turned off. The little girl who always wanted their approval died. The woman who didn't want to die in this story woke up. I stood up. Thank you, I said quietly. For what? My mother snapped. For making your choice so clear, I replied, so I can make mine. I looked at Lucas. You don't have power over me anymore, I said. I'm not coming back. Not today, not tomorrow, not when you cry, not when you send gifts. We are over. And nothing you do with them will change that. I turned to my parents. I love you, I said, tears in my eyes. But I love myself more than I love your fear of what people will say. If you decide one day that you prefer having a daughter to having a well-behaved son-in-law, you know where I live. Until then, I'm done explaining my pain to people who prefer his performance. My brother started to say something. I held up my hand. I don't need your opinion on my trauma, I said. Not anymore. I walked out. I blocked Lucas on everything. I muted my family. I moved out of my shared place and into a small, cheaper apartment across town. And for the first time in a very long time, I slept without waiting for someone to explode. Healing didn't happen overnight. I had panic attacks. I jumped when my phone buzzed. I cried in the supermarket because a guy behind me in line spoke loudly, and my body thought it was a fight starting. But I went to therapy. Real therapy. With someone who didn't tell me to just be more patient. I learned about emotional abuse, about trauma bonding, about how my parents' minimization had made it harder for me to trust my own perception. I also worked. I poured my energy into my job, into projects, into saving up for a better place. Slowly, I built a small support network. Coworkers, a neighbor, a friend from college I had lost contact with. People who didn't know Lucas. People who didn't know my family. People who only knew me as who I was now, not who I had been. My family tried to contact me. Calls I didn't answer, messages I left unread. That's cruel, some would say. You know what's cruel? Being told to go back to your abuser so your family doesn't feel uncomfortable. I chose myself. That's not cruelty. That's survival. Time passed. 6 months, a year. I heard about him through the grapevine. He started going to my parents' house less. The broken man persona got tired. He started dating someone new. At first, they loved her. She's so sweet, my mother said in a voice message I didn't answer. Very respectful. You would like her if you met her. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Then slowly, the same reports. He seems a bit controlling with her. My sister wrote once. He doesn't like her going out alone, but that's normal, right? Later, they had a big fight. He yelled so loud the neighbors complained, but they made up. All couples fight. And then, she moved in with him, but lately she doesn't come to family gatherings as much. He says she's too tired. Mom is worried. I didn't answer. I just watched the pattern repeat with someone else. It hurt, but it also confirmed I hadn't imagined it. It wasn't just me. He was who I knew he was. Abusers don't just abuse partners. They abuse anyone they can benefit from. At first, Lucas had been the perfect almost son for my parents. He helped with small repairs, brought gifts, visited often. But as my family pulled away from me and closer to him, their usefulness to him also had an expiration date. He started borrowing money from my father, just until payday. He started using my mother as free childcare once he had a baby with the new girlfriend. He canceled on them last minute. He snapped at them when they offered too many opinions. He told them they didn't understand how modern couples work when they worried about the fights they overheard. One day, my brother sent me a long message. "I think you were right about him," he wrote. "He shouted at Dad today, said he was tired of being judged. He told Mom she was suffocating him. They're devastated. I'm rethinking a lot of things." I read it. I put my phone down. I went back to my life. Later, I heard that the new girlfriend had left him too, just like me. Only difference, her family believed her. Mine had to learn the hard way. 2 years after I left, my mother showed up at my building. She waited outside, sitting on the steps like a stranger. When I came home and saw her, my heart raced. "Can we talk?" she asked. We went up to my apartment. She looked around at my small but clean kitchen, my plants, my books. "You did all this alone?" she asked. "Yes," I replied. She started crying. "We were wrong," she said. "About him. About you. We thought we were protecting the family. We didn't see what he was. We only saw what he showed us. I'm so sorry we didn't believe you." I let her talk. She told me about the way he had used them, the debts he left, the fights they had watched him have with the new girlfriend. The moment my father finally said, "He sounds like what Julia described." "I don't expect you to forgive us," she said, "but I miss my daughter." I took a deep breath. "I'm glad you finally see it," I said. "Truly. Not for my sake, for yours. Because now you can stop letting people like him into the family." She nodded, crying harder. "Does that mean we can start over?" she asked. "Come back? Go back to how it was?" I shook my head gently. "We can't go back," I said. "What happened changed me. I can't unfeel how it felt to be told to go back to him. I can't pretend that didn't break something." "So this is it?" she whispered. "No," I replied, "but it's not what you think." I told her, "We can build something new, slowly, carefully. On my terms too this time. No more surprise interventions. No more inviting people I left into my life behind my back. No more family first if family means everyone but me. If you can respect that, we can have contact. If not, I'm okay living without it. I've already shown myself I can." She nodded. "I'll try," she said. "For real this time." I didn't embrace her like a movie ending. I didn't invite everyone over for Sunday lunch right away. We started with small things, a coffee every few weeks, short calls, talking about neutral topics first, then deeper things later. Some relationships in the family improved, some stayed distant, some I decided never to revive. And Lucas? I have no idea where he is now. And I don't care. My revenge was not seeing him in handcuffs. It was not seeing him beg. My revenge was simple. I survived him. I built a life where his name means nothing. My family, who once chose him over me, had to live with the knowledge that I was right, and that I saved myself when they wouldn't help. Sometimes, letting people sit in the consequences of their choices is the only revenge you need. If you've ever left someone toxic and then watched your own family doubt you, minimize your pain, or even side with your abuser, tell me in the comments what you would have done in my place. Would you have tried harder to convince them, cut them off completely, or done something different? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story with someone who needs to hear that choosing yourself, even when your family doesn't understand, is not betrayal, it's survival. And if you want more long, emotional revenge stories about toxic families, abusive partners, and the quiet power of walking away, stay tuned. Season 2 still has a lot to reveal.